Consideration of amending the severe weather policy. At the last council meeting, we discussed whether we needed an all clear. And there were several things discussed, all the way from several short beeps to a continuous siren. Some discussion has been held since that last meeting, and we have several people that are here that would like to speak to that. Would you like to speak to that, please?
Sure. I've asked Dr. Bullock to come with me tonight. He's our emergency management director. The all clear, this tornado siren thing obviously is a hotbed with everybody, especially in light of the recent storms we've had all spring and all winter. Our system, back in April, let me back up, I believe it was April, we had an EMA board meeting. The EMA board consists of the mayors, and they sit on this board, they come up with some policy. It was at that time decided that our tornado sirens countywide would be blown in the event of a warning or a credible sighting by law enforcement or a credible person who says, I see this tornado. Now, let me back up just a little bit. The communication center has the teletype statewide notification. The Weather Service will send out a notification. Typically, these notifications will say, Sac County will be in a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning from 9:10 to 10:30. The tornado or warning is expected to be in Wall Lake at this time, Lakeview at this time, Sac City at this time. Typically, that's how they were coming out. It was decided back then that the sirens would be blown in the event that Sac City, and I'm going to talk specifically about Sac City because that's where we're here tonight, the event specifically would be blown if Sac City is specifically listed. Now, the comm center used to call everybody in the event of a watch, and then call everybody in the event of a warning. Several years ago, the REC provided your swimming pools, your campgrounds, your nursing homes, your hospitals, schools with weather radios. So when we now get a watch, the comm center calls these people countywide and says, make sure your weather radio's turned on. We're in a watch. Now, when a warning hits, they notify law enforcement, EMS, and fire. Okay? So going back to our April meeting, it was decided in the event that we're notified by the National Weather Service and we're in a tornado warning, the appropriate procedures will be followed. It's been brought to my attention that now the discussion is we want this siren to blow the entire length of the warning. I have an issue with that, and simply is that these warnings can be hours long. Okay? Do you really want this siren blowing for 45 minutes or an hour at a time? The second issue is an all clear. You're not set up for an all clear. Your system doesn't have an all clear. When the comm center activates the tornado warning, it's on a 3-minute cycle. It will blow for 3 minutes continually and then shut off. The issue that I have in the communication center is that right now, last year, they ran over 40,000 entries in a year. Over 250 entries come in the communication center daily. Now you're going to run this siren for 45 minutes or an hour. Who's going to answer the phone? You know, now we have all these extra calls coming in. What's going on? What's going on? You know, so that's issue number one. Issue number two is it's just not simply set up to do an all clear. I asked Dr. Bullock to do some research on the we're in Region 9, is that what it is?
We're in Region 3.
With 16 counties, correct?
Yes.
And what did you find out in that?
Well, I did not talk personally to all 16, but we have communication from 12. Number one, there is no county in our region that sounds an all clear. They don't think it's safe because these cells can stem up shortly thereafter. We sound an all clear, another cell comes up, and we start blowing again. Second thing is, I do not believe our siren can go for an hour without burning itself up. Most sirens in our region, all sirens in our region, will go 3 or 4 minutes intermittently. They do not sound, there's no county in our region that sounds an all clear. They rely on weather radios or televisions. That if you want to find out, are we out of it? turn on the weather radio with a battery backup. If the power goes out, that goes with you, or watch the television. We'll be on it, which is what we do now. So, for what that's worth.
I spoke briefly with Rick Heck, who's the supervisor for this district today. The county wants no liability on an all clear. You know, we set it off. He pretty much says we're not going to do it. We're not going to accept the responsibility of pushing an all clear. So then option 2 would be, if that's what the council chose to do, you would have to move the system to another location to set it off and do that.
I think had we had all this information before we discussed it, we would have come up with a lot different agreement on it, so I don't think you're going to have any argument. We needed this input.
Well, and you know how rumors get going and people start talking. We thought, Adam and I met and the chief met last week, and we just decided it's just easier just to come down and say, this is kind of our position, this is how it's set up. So.
Well, we appreciate it.
It's understandable. I appreciate you coming in and saying that.
Your position, that's ours.
Yeah.
John's okay with it, right, John?
Yeah.
We should listen to you. You're the expert. So.
We're not any experts. I wouldn't go that far,
Well,
but
you're in
you know,
charge. So.
that's kind of where we're at. So,
We
any
don't
other
need
questions
to
on
amend
that?
anything. Then we'll leave it as it is.
Leave it as it is based off their recommendations.
Which is,
No
No
all clear.
all clear. And
The way the policy currently reads is that if one is in place, the process for activating it. It does not state that one actually exists. It says if one's in place, when you can activate it. So if there isn't one, it's a non-applicable step in the process.
And realistically speaking, in the last 5 years that I've been sheriff, 98% of the tornado warnings we get are Doppler radar indicated. One never develops, one never touches the ground, and one's never seen, but radar indicates location, so they put that out to us. So,
We don't want people to relax either.
no,
Look at
we
Parkersburg.
don't. You know, it's in Parkersburg I heard just the other day about a 45-minute notice it was coming. So, you know, we got a great system in place now.
Okay.
Any other
Thank you.
questions on that?
No, thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
just one comment. Perhaps
Thank you, Jim.
Perhaps we should have some clarification, like in our newsletter, what we're doing, that there will be no, and that to consult with your TV or radio weather station.
Good idea, Bill.